Hello there. Today on Mental Detox with Dr. May, I'll be talking about how to use timeouts. Timeouts are a quick and effective technique for managing a child's behavior. However, as many parents know, simple mistakes can cause timeouts to backfire or simply not work. Today's episode provides tips and guidelines for making timeouts as effective as possible. I'll be discussing basic timeout instructions such as how to give a timeout as well as addressing common pitfalls such as over lecturing and inconsistency. So come along, let us talk. Especially for parents, I know it could be really hard trying to make a child do what he has to do without you shouting, without you spanking. I have to even ask today, how many times have you screamed or shouted today as a parent? If you can't sometimes or did, how many times you can't, especially if you have toddlers. Or some people think maybe the older they get, the more properly behave. Sometimes the early teenage years can be a real struggle. But hey, we're talking about how to get this timeouts more effective for your children. So number one, timeouts shouldn't be a surprise. When your child misbehaves, give one warning before sending them to timeout. Don't just send them. It sounds as if you are punishing the child. However, if your child knowingly breaks a rule you have already discussed, the timeout may be given without a warning. Like I said, knowingly breaks a rule. But if not knowingly, give a warning. And then before you can send the child to the timeout and choose where you want to do that timeout. Don't just send them there like you are disturbing, you want to punish the child, and the child begins to start seeing you that way. Number two, briefly explain the reason for the timeout. It's normal for children to zone out during long lectures, so keep your explanation to 2 or 3 sentences. Always use a calm tone and avoid getting into arguments. You aren't going to get anything out of that. The child, especially those young toddlers, are going to be telling you, why should I do this? Why should I do that? Why, mommy? Why, daddy? You get into argument, and at the end of the day, what you were going to say didn't end well. Number 3, don't make empty threats. Children's brain, you are already an adult. Your brain is already grown and everything has reached its maximum development and capacity and all that. But your child's brain will keep growing up until he or she is 25 to 26. So that child's brain is still growing. Don't make empty threats. If you give a warning or a timeout, you must follow through. Be careful not to dig yourself into a hole by threatening a timeout you wouldn't enforce. And of course, you know what that is now. If you keep doing that, they say, mommy is just talking. Mommy is not going to do it. Because they are going to see you as an unserious mom who just gives empty threat and never see it through. Make sure you just send your child to that and enforce it. Walk the talk. Number 4, timeouts should happen immediately or as soon as possible. This allows your child to better connect the unwanted behavior to the timeout. A child will not do something in the morning, and it's when the child comes back from school, you say timeout for what he has done for 6-8 hours ago. No, if you do that immediately, it connects the unwanted behavior. The child knows that because I did this, this is why I'm receiving this timeout. And this allows your child to, like I said, better connect the unwanted behavior to the timeout. The longer between a behavior and a consequence, the less effective it will be. And before you know what is happening, it will fizzle out. So please let it be immediate or just very close. Number 5, use a designated timeout spot that is free of distractions. Don't tell the child to go and do timeout in the kitchen where something hot will pour on the child, or go and do timeout in the restroom where he can easily take all those detergent and something that will harm him or her. No, let it be a designated spot that is free from distractions. Go to your room. Might be music to a child's ears. Go to your room. That's his bedroom now. You go and sleep. Bedrooms where children have toys and games tend to be, one of the worst time out spots. Don't send that child there. Go and play. In fact, it's like go and play or go and sleep. Instead, use a neutral area without distraction. Oftentimes, parents use some corners in their homes where there's no TV, like facing the wall. There's clear from chairs and rug and everything. And that is where you can choose. So, designated area free from distractions. Number 6, don't give your child attention during timeouts. Toddlers will find a way. I want to go and wee. I want to go and drink water. I want to go and... Don't give your child attention during timeout. You may monitor your child, but avoid giving any additional attention, including negative attention. Don't even try to eye them up and down. I know some parents, no, don't give them that side eye. Positive or negative, just do the minimum. Don't give them that additional attention. If your child leaves the timeout spot, calmly walk them back without talking or making eye contact. I know it can be emotional for some of us. Walk them back. I tell them to go back to their timeout. Don't look into their eyes because it may make you feel, oh, my child is crying. Let them go back there. They have to understand that it's timeout, it's timeout. Number 7, timeout lasts for 1 minute per year of age. Once your child is seated calmly, set a timer and place it where they can see it. If your child acts up during a timeout, instead of adding more time, pause the timer and resume once they have calmed down. I'm sure some of you will like, oh, how possible is that? Because some of you will leave the child there in timeout, the child will even sleep. 2 hours, the child in timeout. That is wrong. Should we start calling the police? Child abuse? Because these children these days, any little thing you do to them is child abuse. Please don't put them in timeout and abandon them there. It's not good, it's not healthy, because the behavior you're trying to even correct, you may not really get that result. Number 8, once a timeout is over, it's over. If you still feel frustrated about your child's behavior after they have completed a timeout, be careful not to take it out on them. This means no lecturing or other ongoing consequences following the timeout. Because some of you will just not start hitting, beating. And if you are so angry, you may injure that child. I've seen parents that, pushed the child, hit his head on the wall, went into coma, had a brain contusion, and the child started having seizure. Some few weeks after then, the child passed. So please, it's time out, it's time out. If you still feel frustrated, do other things. Don't pour your anger on the child. Number 9, balance time out with positive attention. Timeouts are most effective when there are plenty of good parent-child interactions too. Spend quality time with your child. Notice when your child is behaving well and praise their good behavior. Now, I've said 9 things. Which of these are you trying out today? How has your time out with your child been? How have you managed it? And if you know one of the, or more of the things I said, you have been doing it wrongly, this is the time to make that correction. Remember, whatever you do is progress, not perfection.